Indigenous Rights Radio, because knowledge is power.
Democracy and justice cannot exist without freedom of expression and freedom of press. Today, by and large, the mainstream media is owned and controlled by socially and economically powerful people, resulting in lack of access, voice, and participation of indigenous peoples. On the auspicious day of World Press Freedom Day, indigenous broadcasters call attention to the Rights of Indigenous Media, Article 16 of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Land defenders and water protectors are often targeted by violence when there are protests against the development of dams, mines, and so forth on indigenous territories. But what is often left out are the threats to journalists covering the aggressions and reporting on grassroots events. Such violence affects them too, and this is not brought to light as often. Speaking to cultural survival, indigenous journalists around the world reiterate the indigenous people's rights are also human rights.
My name is Nina Sangma, and I am the communications coordinator at the Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact, which is a regional organization based out of Thailand. My message for World Press Freedom Day is that freedom of the press is literally dependent on the awareness of people, and that is what we do. The press is essentially speaking truth to power. That is becoming increasingly difficult and more challenging in today's global atmosphere where democracies are under threat. So the media's role is extremely crucial in terms of providing information, verified information, creating awareness in the general public by generating public interest media, and then using that civil society organizations can use to make informed decisions that impact policy. So yes, the role of the media can never be understated. So I think, yes, all sectors of civic society need to understand the crucial impact of media. Particularly mainstream media, but also I think indigenous media, which is led by indigenous people, because a lot of the times the narratives around us are not within our control, and which is why it's essential to set up more platforms for indigenous voices and gather publicly through indigenous media collectives.
Maya here, Daniela Tayaka y David Hernandez Palmar. I'm from the Wayo peoples, both countries in Colombia and Venezuela. I'm a filmmaker, creator, journalist. And on this World Press Freedom Day, I would love to call the attention for solidarity to those land defenders who are communicators, who have been saying the truth. By saying the truth doesn't have to compromise our lives, but it is real. So I would love just to celebrate all the brave people that are having us in that big conversation everywhere, anywhere, anytime, while others remain silent and do nothing. So I would love to celebrate Assessor for giving them strength, but also to call for solidarity for all the communicators that are in jail right now, for them to say, what's going on in our territories. We are keeping on the struggle, and I really enjoy the very gathering of all communicators worldwide, especially indigenous communicators.
Gawatsi. My name is Jenny Monet, tribal citizen of the Pueblo of Laguna and an independent journalist. And on this World Press Freedom Day, I'd like to honor it by calling attention to the right to Indigenous Media, Article 16 in the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's becoming more clear that we know our land defenders, our water protectors, are often at the center of violence whenever protesting the development of a dam or a mine. But what is less understood are the journalists covering the aggression. The violence affects them too, yet so few people are reporting on these lives that are affected. On this World Press Freedom Day, it is a path to all human rights, and I'd like to just remind people that Indigenous rights are also human rights.
For more information on indigenous rights, visit www.cs.org/rights and also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.